Good evening, guys. Good evening. We had to bring the important update to you guys. New changes in the tent. Look at these beautiful tents. I guess they're going to have to take them down now. We seem to have a power play going on between Brandon Johnson and JB Prickhead. You know the guy, governor of Illinois, JB. Yesterday, the Illinois EPA issued an order to stop the building of these tents as they reviewed the environmental study and came up with what they wanted done according to their regulations, right? You got the state government, you got to abide by the rules. Otherwise, you're going to have problems, right? So, just released a couple hours ago. This is not going to work. So let's get the update here for you and what they're saying at CBS about these tents at 26th in California, also known as Brighton Park.
Governor Pritzker pulled the plug on the controversial migrant camp in Brighton Park. The governor rejected the city's plan, saying there are too many environmental concerns at the site to proceed.
CBS 2's Tara Molina is live for us in Brighton Park with a closer look at the decision and reaction from the mayor. Tara.
Jim and Marie, there has been back and forth on this state-funded site for nearly 2 months now, and the city had just called it safe before the state stepped in, before the governor's office stepped in.
Come on.
We asked, what's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Construction on this site started last week, and you can see they made significant progress getting these tents up. City officials telling us over the weekend it was safe to house migrants after releasing an environmental review requiring the removal of contaminated soil. But today, Governor J.B. Pritzker's office said an Illinois Environmental Protection Agency review found, quote, insufficient soil sampling and remediation. They say this site does not meet state cleanup standards for residential use. The plan was to house up to 2,000 migrants here, but it's now unclear where or when a tent camp will be built for migrants who would have been housed here. We heard from Mayor Brandon Johnson and 12th Ward Alderman Julia Ramirez this afternoon.
The plan is consistent with what I've been implementing from the very beginning. Here's the plan: to eliminate police districts as grounds for shelter. That has always been the plan.
And so on one end, we won't have that capacity to support the current crisis. On the other end, throughout this process, there's been many layers that have been red flags, for my office, for constituents here in the ward.
We know the state is working with the Archdiocese of Chicago to identify other possible brick and mortar locations for shelters. We actually touched base with the Archdiocese today. They told us that they're working on finding and securing those locations right now. Reporting live in Brighton Park, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
How does the best basketball player of all time make more?
So there you go. I think part of the problem with Brandon is he doesn't have a plan. Hey, Brandon, reach out to DJ Wonder Chrissy at the Migrant Mayhem. I have some ideas for you. One of those ideas is, don't you guys remember about, June or July, Walmart decided they were going to close 4 stores. Actually, they're going to close 4 more by the end of the year, so that's 8 stores that Walmart's got sitting there empty. That Walmart's are nice stores. They're big stores. They got a lot of room. Don't know if they have showers and stuff like that, but they got restrooms, right? They got restrooms. Could use some more, but there you go, Brandon. Reach out to the Walmart guy. Actually, one of the Walmart heirs lives in Chicago. He is now the richest person in the state of Illinois. Forget his name. His father was one of the heirs, And he's not involved with Walmart, but he definitely owns some of the stock. So there you go. Brandon's in a bind. He's got his butt in a bind, folks. You ever hear the saying, it's the failure to plan is always the worst plan? I think that's what happened here. They just pulled this out of somebody's, you know what, keister. It was snowing, and these people were stacked up at O'Hare, and the 26 police precincts were stacked to the gills, and the city of Chicago hadn't even thought about where they were going to put these people. Kudos to the people of Brighton Park who pushed back and didn't stop. I mean, I thought it was over when they started throwing up that tent, but obviously I think there's some division between JB and Brandon. They don't see eye to eye. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, but Brandon and JB are at odds with each other, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but maybe there's some gamemanship and one-upsmanship going on there, which Brandon better learn real quick that he's not the big fish in the pond. If you ever people have looked at JB, he's pretty big, but Brandon's pretty arrogant. Brandon, for the folks who don't know, Brandon was basically installed as the mayor via the teachers union. I don't think it doesn't take, I mean, they proved that it doesn't take many voters to put somebody in office. I'm willing to bet that maybe only 30% of the residents of Chicago actually vote in any given election. Maybe it's fewer than that. I need to check that out. But they got the teachers to the polls. There was another guy by the name of Paul Vallis who was a more moderate Democrat, and he fell. I think it was like 5 to 10 percentage points. That it wasn't close. It wasn't close, and now we have Brandon Johnson in his autocratic style of governing, trying to run over anybody in his way, as he tried to run over the people in Brighton Park pretty quickly. But I'll give him kudos, too. I've said this before. He is smart about this. He's not going with a centralized tent city or whatever you want to call these things. He's trying to put them into the neighborhoods. And once you do that, the fight is over. You've placed them where they need to be, and just a matter of assimilating them. Where if you created a centralized tent city outside of the neighborhoods of the city, you would still have another fight to get these people assimilated into the neighborhoods. So I'll give him credit for actually doing that. I suspect he's thought that through, and by putting them in the neighborhoods, they take ownership for these people, getting them jobs, getting them up on their feet, getting them assimilated into the neighborhood. So I give him credit for that approach, because that's the correct and devious thing to do. It would be much easier to have a central tent in McCormick Place or somewhere where you got lots of room. But now, Chicago's turning into a tent city, folks. I saw a video just yesterday of along Lakeshore Drive. There's parks there, tents are popping up. Never seen that before. They usually try to keep them out of Lakeshore Drive area and the parks there. That's usually the north side. So lots of tents, lots of stuff going on in the city of Chicago, and you got to wonder about the Democratic National Convention coming up with Brandon and JB fighting. There's more to come there. There's more behind that story. There's a lot of money that's being thrown around. I think the state of Illinois is in a bind too. It's not just JB or Brandon. It's JB and Brandon got themselves into a financial bind. That's for sure, folks. So I just wanted to cut in and provide this quick update. I'm going to keep this short. Like, share, subscribe. Check out all of our Migrant Mayhem stuff. There's a playlist out there. You can find all the stuff. We got some recorded stuff. We got some live streams. Got a little bit of everything about the migrants there. We also got other stuff on our channel too that you might be interested in. We got Susie Q's slots. We got some casino content. We got some car shows. We got some foodie stuff. Got a little bit of everything. Whatever it is you're hankering, you'll find it here at Land Cruiser Midwest. Like, share, and subscribe, folks. Thank you, DJ Wonder Chrissy,